Hey readers, let's learn some more about nonfiction. Today we're going to learn about how the features in nonfiction help us learn. So while we've been exploring these nonfiction books, we notice that some of the books look slightly different from other types of books we read. Nonfiction books have different ways of capturing the reader's attention and organizing the information that we learn. The writer lets us know what is important by highlighting information using bold words, large words, lists, and photographs. These are called nonfiction text features, and they help us understand and learn about new people, places, and things. They not only emphasize the important information, but they also let us feel like we're inside of the book, learning it like we're right inside of the story. So today we're going to explore these features found inside of nonfiction books. When writers use these features, they want to help the reader identify important information. They make it easy for us to notice and locate and pay attention to this new information we're learning. Nonfiction text features are like tools. They let us explore, learn, notice, and understand the new topics that we're reading in the books. Let's discover more about these text features. Today we're going to do that by reading the story An Animal Community by Bobby Cowman. We saw this picture before and we were trying to think about what the story was going to be about, and we were thinking it was about prairie dogs. So let's read An Animal Community by Bobby Cowman. Right away, I see the first text feature, the table of contents. The table of contents helps readers get ready to read the book by telling them the information that is included in the book. So it's telling us that this book is going to be about what is a community? A prairie dog town, sharing food, prairie dog families, community daycare, working together, town guards, prairie dogs teachers, communication, the rodent family, and words to know and index. So it tells us what the story is going to be about, what order the information is going to be in, and what page number it's all on. Oh my goodness, I already see another text feature. When writers make words large or in a different color or bold print at the top of the page, it's called a heading. Do you see the heading? It's right here at the very top. What is a community? That's the heading. It will tell us how all of the information on this page or the following pages fit together. So what is a community? A community is a place. It is also the group of living things that share that place. Living things are plants, animals, and people. Prairie dogs are animals that live in communities. They live in communities to stay alive. So here we see a label of prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are not dogs. They are a kind of squirrel. What? That's a new fact I just learned. Prairie dogs are a kind of squirrel? On this 2-page spread, the author has given us an expansive or large view of the tunnels that prairie dogs used. She also labeled the difference between a tunnel, so she's showing us these are the tunnels, and a room. So these are labels, guys. These text features are labels. And I see another heading, bold print at the top of the page, telling us how these pages fit together. A prairie dog town. Prairie dogs live in big communities. Their communities are called towns. Some towns are huge. They are deep in the ground. Towns have rooms and tunnels. Here's another heading, bold word at the top, telling us about these pages. Sharing food. Communities share food. Prairie dog communities share food too. Prairie dog towns are on prairies. Prairies are flat areas with grasses, flowers, and other plants growing on them. Prairie dogs eat these plants. Prairie dogs eat the flowers and other plants that grow on prairies. That little prairie dog. Wow, it seems like the author is giving us a hint about what is in this picture. This is really helpful. This is called a caption, okay? Everybody say caption. Another text feature. Captions tell us what is happening in the picture or give us information about that picture. So in this picture, we can look over at the caption and read it. The pups stay in their town in a room called a nursery. Let's read about prairie dog families. Communities have families. Prairie dog communities also have families. Prairie dog pups or babies are born in the spring. Prairie dog mothers feed their pups milk from their bodies. And then there's our little caption telling us about the picture. When the pups are 5 weeks old, they come above ground to look for food. Oh, look at that photograph. Those sweet little pups. Okay, our next heading is community daycare. Do you go to daycare? Prairie dog towns also have daycare. The mothers take turns looking after all the pups in one family. They watch over the pups and make sure they are safe. They also teach the pups which plants are good to eat. What a cool thing. They have daycare. The mothers take turns looking after them. Working together, our next heading. The prairie dog community cooperates or works together to dig their towns. Digging a town is a big job. Each prairie dog helps with digging. Here's another caption telling us about the picture. These prairie dogs are talking while they work. Look at them. Wonder what they're saying. Is this prairie dog stuck? Will he get out? I bet he will. Town guards. Communities have police officers to protect people. Prairie dogs also protect their towns from predators. Predators are animals that hunt and eat other animals. Foxes, coyotes, and hawks eat prairie dogs. Look at how the author of this book she labeled these animals. That's another text feature, labels. Prairie dog guards watch for predators, such as this hawk. They work together to keep their town safe. Prairie dog teachers. Communities have schools where children learn from teachers. Prairie dog towns also have teachers. Adult prairie dogs teach the pups how to stay alive. They teach them how to find food and how to dig tunnels and how to guard the town from predators. Let's read what this caption says about the picture. This adult is teaching a pup how to stand guard. Wow, they sure seem like smart animals. Communication. Communities share information. Sharing information is called communication. Prairie dogs communicate in different ways. They make loud calls to warn other prairie dogs of danger. They use different sounds to warn about different predators. People communicate love with hugs and kisses. Prairie dogs huddle and touch their front teeth together to greet one another. That's super cool. So instead of giving a high five like we might, they touch their front teeth. The rodent family. People call prairie dogs dogs because they make barking sounds. But prairie dogs are not dogs. They belong to the rodent family. Rodents have 4 front teeth. They never stop growing. The animals shown here are rodents that are like prairie dogs. So let's look at some text features on this page. Rodent teeth is labeled in this picture. And the author also labeled these different animals that are also a part of the rodent family. Ground squirrel, tree squirrel, marmot, and a chipmunk. They all are in the same family. So sometimes writers of nonfiction highlight or emphasize a special word for us to learn about, and they're called bold words. Can you say that? Bold words. The bold font catches our attention and tells us that this word is important, and we need to remember what this word is. So in this text, Bobby Kalman combined the index with the words to know section. And this is where we can find some of those bold words that we saw throughout our book. I was wondering if some of you were noticing it while I was reading. Did anybody notice any bold words? Okay, so in the back of this book, this is usually where we find the index. But he combined words to know and index together. So we see communication is on pages 20 through 21. Maybe you wanted to learn more about their cooperation and you couldn't remember what page it was on because this is a long book. Well, cooperation is on page 14 through 15. Or family pages. Maybe you wanted to just remember the families but you didn't remember where it was. Page 10 through 11 and page 12 is when they talked about families. More words to know. Food pages, guard pages, predators pages, pup pages, rodents, towns, and towns pages. Look at all of the pages that the author talked about prairie dog towns. Okay, so there were lots of text features in our book today. Okay, I have a chart. Chart out. And we're going to make a list of text features that we found in our book today. Can anybody remember a text feature that we read about? I'll give you a hint. It was on the first page we opened up to. It was called Who remembers? Table of contents. So one way that nonfiction books teach us is with the table of contents. You remember? That was on the first page. Very good. Okay. Who can think about another text feature that we learned about today in our book? Give you a minute to think. Do you remember? The next one we learned about, it was on almost every page, was the heading. The heading. The heading was the title of each section. It's always at the top in bold print. Remember, there were lots of headings. And it tells us what those pages are going to be about. Awesome. Can you think of another text feature that we talked about today? What about bold words? Just like in the beginning, we see how the word is big? Bold words. Okay, so remember, bold words tell us what information is most important and when there are new important words to learn. Like if we look at this page, do you see the bold words? Towns and tunnels. Very good. Those are the bold words. What about on this page? Do you see the bold words? Community and living things. Awesome, guys. Almost every page of this nonfiction book had bold words. This page also showed us another text feature. Does anybody remember what they were? Another text feature that teaches us new things is a label. Authors of nonfiction put labels on things so they teach us, they give us more information or the name of something like this. Remember, she was showing us these are the tunnels and these are the rooms, a label. Okay, 3 more. Do you remember any more text features? I'll give you a hint. This one is beside photographs sometimes. Remember what it's called? The caption. The caption tells us what is happening inside of the picture. Do you remember when we were reading about prairie dog families? This caption told us about the baby pups and that the room that they're in is called a nursery. Look, this caption has a, what is that? A bold word. Great job. You guys are good nonfiction text feature detectives. 2 more. 2 more. Does anybody know? And actually these were together in this book. That's my hint. And it was in the back of the book. This book put these 2 together at the very end. Words to know and the index. Words to know reminds us about the new words we encountered in the book, and the index tells us on which page we can find specific information so that we can get there fast. So the table of contents is in the beginning. The index is always in the back, words to know. Wow, we did a lot of thinking work today. Readers use all of these text features to help us understand and learn. So as we continue our unit of study on nonfiction, we will practice using these awesome text features to help us identify important information and discover new facts about the topics we read. So today, while you are reading in Raz Kids or a book at your house, decide if it's nonfiction, and if it is, go on a text feature hunt. See if you can find any text features. I'm going to put a bonus activity up where it's called a nonfiction word hunt, so you can use it to help you find nonfiction text features. All right, readers, give yourself a pat and kiss your brain for being smarter and smarter. Have fun looking at nonfiction books. Bye, guys.